Good afternoon, YouTube. Sunday afternoon, Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. The dads make it happen, don't they?
Yippee.
Yeah. Lots of support from the child.
I know.
Genevieve, ladies and gentlemen. A rare album review.
A rare album.
Welcome.
You didn't have to wake me up for this.
I didn't have to wake you up. No, it's 6:04, late afternoon here, or early evening, depending on your point of view. But it's never too early or too late to talk about Bob Dylan and his greatest hits. This is considered greatest hits. Would be Volume 1. They did release another one at a later time that I believe I have on cassette, and we'll be reviewing when we get to the cassettes, which is way down the road. But for our purposes here, we're going to talk about a 1967 compilation called Bob Dylan's Greatest Hits. And it contains every top 40 single he had up to 1967, plus a couple of bonus tracks. How about that? Now, why don't we talk about subscriptions?
Yeah, let's actually talk about subscriptions.
Yeah, if you're new to the channel, welcome. We talk about
rock and roll.
Always have, always will. And if you've been watching for some time and not yet subscribed...
Yeah, you need to get on that, guys, because the subscriptions are way down, and we're up making videos for you guys, so you better start subscribing or we're going to have problems.
Turning out quality product. Week in and week out.
Yes.
Well said, Genevieve. Well said. All right, now that we got that garbage out of the way, let's talk about Bob Dylan and his significance. Now, after the Beatles came around, it wasn't too long before the world started hearing about old Bobby Dylan, let me tell you. Kind of came out of nowhere. He had traveled from Minnesota to Greenwich Village, where a big folk movement was brewing and playing those coffee houses, and he got a name pretty quickly. Him, Joan Baez, Pete Seeger, all those guys, Dave Van Ronk, Maria Muldaur. There's just tons of them that got their starts in those coffee houses, and Dylan kind of fast-tracked it through there. He ended up getting a record contract with Columbia, and he started writing some of the greatest songs of the generation. It really took the folk world by storm. And the folk, it really crossed over. The folk of the day really crossed over to the pop charts. It was such a great time, the 60s and the 70s. You had just very eclectic. Anything could make it, whether it was reggae or folk or classical even, It was really a different time when everybody had a chance to make it in the charts. And this started a big folk appearance on the American charts. And it blew the folk people, the well-established old school folk, like from the Woody Guthrie days. They were like, how did this kid come out of nowhere and write, blowing in the wind, the times they are a-changin'. Just those two right there. They said, how could he come out of nowhere and write something just every great as This Land Is Your Land by Woody Guthrie. Just instantly classic. Instant immortality, if you will. He just was that good right out of the wrapper. That good of a writer. One of the greatest writers. A lot of people don't care for his voice. A while back, I had increased my Bob Dylan collection on CD by quite a bit. Someone on Facebook Marketplace had offered that they had posted. I think it was a good 8 or 10 Dylan CDs from all, they were old ones and newer ones. They were ranging from the 60s to the 80s, selling them for $20. Their spouse had died and was a big Dylan fan and wanted to see them go to good use. And it was, nice to, have her have that closure that she got rid of them to someone that would listen to them. And I was, it was some quality Dylan music. But a lot of people don't care for him. She didn't care for him, but her husband was a huge Dylan fan. A lot of people don't like his voice, and he doesn't have a great voice, but it's great for what he does. It's perfect for what he does. Let's go over the track listing. Rainy Day Women, numbers 12 and 35, or its alternate title, Everybody Must Get Stoned. Blowin' in the Wind, The Times They Are A-Changin', It Ain't Me, Babe, and Like a Rolling Stone. Side 2, Mr. Tambourine Man, Subterranean Homesick Blues, I Want You, Positively 4th Street, and Just Like a Woman. The the second part to this, Greatest Hits Part 2, I believe is a double album. But like I said, I have it on cassette. And it's much more comprehensive, has the slightly deeper tracks, and goes a little further than this into the later 60s, and I think even right around 70 or 71. I'm not exactly sure when it came out. But it's a longer album. But this played very nicely. My wife saying that the Rock and Roll Dungeon stinks. Say what you will. Alrighty, let's take a look at the vinyl, shall we? I've had this forever. Can't remember where I bought it. I became a Dylan fan very early on. One of the great poets of our time. Still alive, too. He's in his mid-80s. It's a classic Columbia label. What do you think about all this? Enthralled. She knows all about this.
I know.
I'm not telling her anything. I can see why she's bored. Well versed in the Dylan. Alrighty. Thanks for tuning in. Join us on Monday night. Tomorrow night.
Well, I won't be here tomorrow night.
Oh, so we'll draw it now. Why not?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, this one's going on
This is a combined album.
Yes, what a night. This is the big time. Let me mix them up, mix them up, mix them up. Get your hand in there. Dig deep. What you got? Blue Cheer, Vinciobus eruptum. Latin for control of chaos, I believe. I think that's what it means in Latin. But we just talked about Blue Cheer recently. And we're going to talk about him again. Next Sunday night, Genevieve will join us yet again. Until next Sunday night. I'll see you guys in a week. Say bye, Genevieve. Good afternoon, and thank you, YouTube.
Bye.
Bye.